Some, I just drill right onto the top there. I just attach. But see how the shoes match the skirt?
My name is Alexi DeVilliers. I feed elderly homeless every Saturday for the past 9 years. And with the leftover cans from the feeding of the homeless, I make robots and other sculptures. And then I sell those sculptures to buy more food to feed that same group of elderly homeless again and again and again. It's just a big, giant circle. What inspired me to use the cans was just one day after, we had that excess money like I was saying earlier, and it didn't really matter. I just put some cans together and saw, oh look, a little dog. So I screwed the dog together. And then a couple of weeks later, we had some more cans and I stuck them together. I said, oh look, a robot. And then it just took off from there. I started to paint the robots. I started to make them more intricate. And then they piled up here. Like 30 or 40, 50 robots were piling up, just sitting in the rain. And my wife says, why don't you try to sell those? And then boom, I started to sell the robots. Henry Ford with the assembly line. I get everything cut and prepped. I get all the screws in line. I get everything ready to go. And then I just cut the cans and start building. And then I give it a personality. Everyone from start to finish. I make a personality for it. I started almost 10 years ago doing it. I was in my early 40s, so it was no big deal. And I had a couple of jobs and it was just a side thing for me. And I worked maintenance in a commercial property. I did maintenance for a friend who owned houses. My wife had an executive job with a chiropractic firm, and money was easy, and things were pretty easy for us. And a couple years into it, my wife and I had a baby, and she had to leave her job to, raising a kid is a full-time job. And then the market crashed, so then a lot of the jobs went to the wayside. The company I worked for got sold, and the building got sold, and my friend who had houses lost them in the foreclosure thing. And luckily I had the robots to fall back on, and I have an autoimmune disease with my eyes that inhibit me from seeing details and things like that. So I'm not able to do the commercial maintenance and the home maintenance as much. So what I'm able to do now is just the robots. So that's pretty much all I do now and all I can pretty much see to do. I'm really thankful that at least I had the art to fall back on. I thank God for that every day. I don't know that I'll be hanging this up even when I'm old, because I don't have a pension plan anywhere. I work strictly, through the kindness of strangers and then selling the robots at galleries, but it's not a lucrative thing. I don't have money put away. I think I will be feeding and helping the homeless until the day I won't be able to breathe.
Ta-da! Yeah, this is thick macaroni and cheese.
What inspired me to do this was seeing how many people are in the parks and how many people are in downtown Phoenix. And I thought, what could I do to help them? So I just started to make food. I had a lot of leftover food here in the house when I would cook. So I started to give it to the people in the park. And then I just decided that, why don't I cook a couple of hot meals and take it to them? And that's the beginning of it all. On the average, I make now about between 100 and 125 hot meals every Saturday. And if I can't make a hot meal because I'm working a First Fridays festival the night before, or even a Saturday festival, we pick up Walmart subs, about 18 foot of subs and potato chips and drink mix, or we go to Little Caesars and get about 25 pizzas, and we just take it down to the shelter. Every Saturday, that's my shtick, is they get a meal from me. When I drive up to the shelter, there's usually no one out front because it's usually hot or cold. So everyone's inside getting away from the elements. So I pop my head in, and there's a guy that sits behind a desk and he signs everybody in. Everything there is pretty legit. But he screams out, I need volunteers. 10 people jump up and get in line. And I start handing the food, and they say, oh, this smells so good. Wow, what is it today? And I explain to them, and they're like, oh, I can't wait to sit down. This is great.